Hey Maker, today I'm working on one of my best-selling items, and that is a Realtor Key Prop. It's an awesome item for realtors to use when they're branding themselves, when they're making a sale, and they're really hot. So today I have 3 of them to make, so let's see how I make them. Okay, so one of the things I love to always have on hand is a pre-painted board. I use white and I use black a lot. So when I can, I paint them and I just put them aside. I paint them and I seal them with lacquer, because I like to engrave a lot, and if I already have it lacquered, then I'm not, I'm just one step ahead of the game. So this right here is white 1/8 of an inch plywood that is lacquered with the spray lacquer that I use all the time and masked with medium tack masking tape. Okay, so first things first, step 1 is to sand your wood, prep it. Then you're gonna go ahead and stain it. I like to give it as long as I can to dry, and then after I'm done staining it, I'm going to use that lacquer that I showed you to seal it, because with these keys I like to add both 3D elements and engraving elements to it. Once it's ready, I'm going to throw her under Mira and let her do her job. Alright, so now I'm going to clean off the extra soot from the engraving, and then it's ready to be painted. I tend to really like working with metallics. They're kind of a pain to work with, but if you get them right, they really have a fabulous look at the end. So to make my paint go further, I used a gray acrylic base, and then I went over it with my acrylic metallic. I used the acrylic one from Martha Stewart. This is, I want to say this is platinum. And just look how pretty it is. When I peel off this masking, it's going to have a fabulous effect. Then I'm going to go ahead and peel off the masking from the scored lines. I like to do this because then when it's time to glue, I get everything perfectly straight. So my scored settings for 60 watt Mira 7 is roughly around 100 speed and 20 to 30 power. Then I'm going to sand where I peeled off the masking so I get just in the letter, and this way I rough it up and I prep it a little better for glue to hold onto it even stronger. Then I'm going to peel it all off and get to gluing. So now that I've peeled everything off, you can see how beautiful the metallic looks, but there are always going to be just a few spots that you need to clean up, and this is why I like to engrave, because now all I have to do is take some sandpaper, sand off the excess that bled, like here, and then lightly touch up just a few areas that need to be fixed. Okay, so now it's time to cut out my 3D letters, but I have 3 different keys that I'm working on, so I want to be efficient. I'll show you guys my beautiful chaos over here as I work on several projects at a time. I have these 3 keys that I'm working on, but they all have different color schemes to the letters. So what I do is I take all of the letters that are, all of the projects that I have that are one color, for example, all of this needed to be cut in white. So while that was cutting, I went ahead and took the other pieces out and I measured them so that I knew just how much paint I needed within my scrap wood. So for example, this little word sold, it is approximately 8.5 by 4. So I measured here and I painted this 8.5 by 4. So I'm gonna cut that word here. For this name, I measured it and it's gonna go here. So I painted it this really pretty metallic silver. I love metallic. It's hard to work with, so it takes practice, but it really has a beautiful effect. And for this, I'm using Martha Stewart's acrylic metallic. And if you see, I have a base coat first, and then the metallic. That way I don't waste it. And then another word, another sold word, that one needed to be teal, so I'm painting that here. That's the first coat. So that's how I save with my scraps, and I really don't like painting after, and I much rather paint before. It just saves so much time. Last couple of steps here. I'm gonna finish off this detachable logo and glue on my letters, peel the masking off, and they should be done. I'm now just kind of using this, weights to hold stuff down, and I'm using my scored lines to help me make sure I get everything beautifully aligned. And I'll tell you what, I still love my Titebond wood glue, but I have finally learned to embrace the clear Gorilla Glue. I didn't like it at first because it moves and I'm too impatient and I like to touch things right when I put them down, but I find that if I'm patient and I don't touch it, it actually works really well, and then I have no cleanup because it does dry very clear. So I am now a fan. I'm not such a hater anymore. Because let's face it, when you're a mom with a business or a mom with a laser, there is no time to waste. We have to be so efficient with what we do. I'm just taking this little brush here and pushing in some of the glue that kind of seeped out. Even though it would dry clear, if I don't, I'd rather have no noticeable glue if possible. So yeah, I mean, there's so many demands on our lives: laundry, dinner, playing, and education, discipline, mediating. There's so many things we do that every minute counts. So I've learned to embrace the clear glue. This is almost done, and I'll show you guys the final product soon. Okay, so these are done, all right? And now all I need to do is attach the logo. And you see, the first realtor that I ever made a key for, she asked me if I could make the logo to her brokerage detachable somehow, because she wasn't sure if she was going to stay there. And then this just kind of became a thing, and realtors seem to really appreciate that they could buy a sign, and if, for whatever reason they end up changing brokerages, they can just order a new logo to add to the key that they already have. So that's what I do. I use clear Velcro. I like this the best because I think it gives it a nice clean look. I cut off a little piece, and then I fold it in half so that it's exactly, it matches up perfectly. Okay, and then what I do, I like to glue. Okay, so there's two sides to this, right? There's this side. I want to put the clear on here. So if they choose to take off, just take a picture without the logo, you can't really see this in your photo. And I put the white part on the actual logo piece. So I just did that, and I like to take a little bit of hot glue because the Velcro, it'll come off. So I like to reinforce it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of hot glue here, put it on, just a little bit, nothing too much, because it is pretty sticky, okay? And now I'm gonna place it where I want. There we go. And I'm gonna hold it down. So now, if she wants to take this off, she can. That's it for today, Maker. I hope this helps you, and please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like and share, and I'll see you here next time on That Mom with a Laser.